Catching my balance, I gripped the dresser top with both hands and stared down at the egg. Crack! The blue and purple veins throbbed. A long, jagged crack split across the green shell. Un! I heard a low grunt from inside the egg, the grunt of a creature working hard to push out. What a struggle! It doesn't sound like a turtle, I told myself. Is it some kind of exotic bird, like a parrot or a flamingo maybe? How would a flamingo egg get in my backyard? How would any weird egg get in my backyard?
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy. Calling all creep.
Boo dudes! Welcome to another episode of Calling All Creeps. I'm your host, the toilet on which Elvis Presley died. And I'm here with my daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. Hi, Lisa.
I'm so sad about how you killed my dad using your porcelain hole.
I'll tell you what it was. First of all, cocaine. Second of all,
Never heard of it.
all those peanut butter banana sandwiches.
Didn't he used to put that on his burger?
Oh, I don't know. Probably, sure, with like a pat of butter.
Yeah, sometimes you go to a diner and they have like an Elvis Presley. It's like a burger with like
Bunch of cocaine on it.
yeah, it's a fat burger wrapped.
And it comes out and it gestures and gesticulates its legs at you.
Yeah, but it always moves its crotch around, and that's why I can't eat it because I get too horny.
It's such a horny burg.
I love that. That's like facts where they're like, they used to stop. Elvis wasn't even allowed on TV because, when you just used to shake your crotch, look at how it made all these numbskulls horny. Like that was on like everything. Like that was a weird fact. Like I think it was in my history book. It was like Elvis came out and made everyone horny. I was like, oh man.
This was in the pre-wet ass pussy days.
Yeah, I was like, is this going to be on the test? It's like, fuck, I wrote that he made everybody blank angry. And they're like, partial credit because he made people angry about how horny he made all the teens.
You were supposed to write that he swiveled his hips sensually, and you... Oh, damn it.
Fuck.
That was a genuine miss on my part. Oh, boy. Wow, we got a great show for you. We have a special guest, no one, and but Dave, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm here. Whatever.
Yeah.
You?
Pretty good. My butt is healing. Thank you, all the listeners, for all your genuine concern.
Yeah, a lot of people reached out and just like really cared about your hole.
They inquired about my hole, and my hole is doing well. I got my finger condoms. I'm shoving that stuff in there twice a day. I got a whole system worked out. It's good. And I got a new vacuum.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Is it a Dyson?
No, it's not a Dyson. It's a Miele.
Ooh.
Have you heard of Miele?
No, but I love it when you say it.
Miele. It's a good one. It's a canister vacuum so that I can vacuum under the bed instead of... The upright is so clunky. I can't get that into certain places.
It's one of those with the stick? Like that long stick?
And the long stick.
Not plugged in?
You plug it in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's because I've been fucking around with these Shark vacuums for years, and I had two of them within the span of like 6 years, and they just keep breaking. So it's like, enough of this shit. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get like a good vacuum.
Yeah. I did that. I bought one of those Dyson stick ones that like you charge up and you can do the house and changed my life, man.
Well, yeah, the cordless is a good option.
I don't know. I'm trying to find the right adapter on the dark web that will
turn on your VPN.
Nothing sexual, but I feel like my dick is dusty. And I just need it to clean it.
Uh-huh.
And you can't shove it in there.
Yeah, I think I know the old domain that used to host zanybranny.com. Now it's zany brainy, but there's a big picture of a man's balls being squeezed by a hand.
Oh, that's my problem. I thought I was doing zany get brainy.
See, go to zanybrainy.com. And yeah, I got an attachment there. Honestly, Dave, I hold it to my balls and it just rips the hair right out.
Perfect.
I have very smooth, grotesque balls.
As we expect from a man of your stature.
Indeed. Thank you for saying so. And you're looking quite regal in your bathrobe.
Thank you. Said no one ever. This is how the cops will find me. Dead, by
I
the
love
way.
it. We're waking up. We're getting loose. Like
we
a
are.
beehole.
That's right. But hey, with the right finger condom, we can heal ourselves back to full adults.
I love it. Yep.
So this book,
Yes.
Egg Monsters from Mars. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little upset because iconic cover, seen it a million times.
Sure.
Crazy kitchen backsplash and colors and everything. Crazy that your kitchen
I
would
hate
be
the floor.
orange and fucking maroon. Ew.
Yeah.
But until receiving this book, which by the way, I just got 14 Goosebumps books I was missing. And that
was this
cost
one of
me.
them?
This was one of them. And
Nice.
they all together cost me $135,
Wow.
which isn't terrible, including
Wait,
shipping and stuff.
How many did you get?
So in the end, I actually got 18 Goosebumps, but I only needed 14 of them.
Okay.
But they're later ones, and that's the thing. You guys listening to this, reading along fucking sucks. These later books,
Yeah.
they weren't reprinted. This one was not reprinted. They did an audiobook, and it said like 2018 it got like a new audio ebook, but other
Amazing
than that,
that,
they're not reprinting them, any of these later ones.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's amazing that they even did an audiobook of this particular one.
Yeah. But this is the first time seeing the cover in a long time, and I always thought the egg monster was wearing sunglasses.
Oh, that's way cooler.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like he's
I
like,
could see that.
look who's on your planet. It's me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Looks like sunglasses.
It does.
The eyes.
It does. Yep.
But
this,
it is-
this little monster went to the sunglass hut and he came out with some sweet Ray-Bans.
Sure did. But iconic cover, great name, very goosebumpsy name.
Egg Monsters from Mars. It's
Egg
great.
Monsters from Mars.
It conjures like a 50s monster movie kind of a title.
And it's goofy enough and rolls off the tongue.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's cool.
And this book came out in April of 1996, and another landmark, Matt. Book 42.
Yeah.
We
It's
are
huge.
20 away from fucking being done with this shit.
Wow. Yeah, amazing. So close. We're 2/3 of the way through.
And we started, I guess our first episode, was it September or October? It was October, right?
Yeah, correct.
So we're about to hit our 2-year mark.
That's right.
Fucking why?
We love punishing ourselves.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're moving. Only 20 more. They're the pricey ones, but they're also the ones that I remember the least.
Yeah, I think that's... I don't know if that's universally true, but I feel like the really iconic ones are all the earlier ones, right?
Yeah.
Like the ones that are on the t-shirts and shit are pre-40s.
But like the only ones that are coming up is like the Jack-o'-lanterns one.
Right.
Calling All Creeps, of course.
Of course. Legend of the Lost Legend. Who could
Weirdly
forget?
one. It's just like a little baby Viking.
Yeah.
But also
Yeah.
the books are getting pretty like the whole thing is secular. Everything is coming back, and they all just borrow from past books as well.
For sure. Yeah.
Like how many times did you like? I felt like I read a lot of this before, but I was just thinking of It Came From Beneath the Sink.
Yeah, this is like a mashup of It Came From Beneath the Sink and fucking Attack of the Mutant, where like he goes somewhere he shouldn't and he's like stuck there for a while. Like I don't know. Goes
Yeah.
into like a building and gets stuck there.
But it still felt fresh. This was a fun one.
I liked it because I liked it because, I mean, we'll talk about the plot, but you think the antagonist is going to be obviously the egg monsters from Mars, and it's not. And I like that, at least. It kept it sort of interesting. And it's simple. It was like, it got right to it, more or less. He finds the egg, and then the peril begins, and it's just an easy concept to understand. Like, he goes somewhere, gets trapped by a bad guy. Like, I like that. I like RL simple things where it's like, this house is haunted, or, you know, whatever. I don't really give a shit about, like, some of the stuff we've read, obviously, is just truly insane, and I just don't have time for the convoluted nature of it that gets no explanation.
Yeah, you can't get stuck in the weeds too much. And that's why, like, this, where it's like, he found an alien. It's like, why? He did.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
did. He did. Like, what is he going to do? It's a fantasy book for kids. Shut up.
Yeah.
Or like a haunted house. Like, I don't want to move here. And you're like, well, we sold our old house and you're a child. I know you're afraid. Live in this haunted house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. The most explanation we get, actually, this ending I fucking love. And I'm so excited to get your
Me
thoughts
too.
on it on the pod live. But there we get a little bit of explanation for why that is, because we'll have to reveal what the ending
not
is,
yet,
not now,
not
but,
yet.
but you know, he touched this egg, so you can trace back the twist at the end, where usually you can't, right? It's like, my parents took off their energy masks and they were also dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I like, why, how? This is an insane ending that actually gives you a light explanation, which is great.
I love it. And also parallels a lot to what we're going through now in our current life, which I'll talk about as well. It's funny. And it's not like I'm not on my howler shit. This is more topical and realistic as
Got it.
much as we can be. So, April of 1996, the song still Celine Dion's Because You Loved Me.
Beautiful.
It's a great song.
Yep.
It's like, for all the dicks that you forgot to jerk.
For all the butts that you looked at me, for all the pain that you put in my asshole, and I'm a stupid idiot. I don't know.
But I because you believed.
But you believe.
And I'm everything I am.
Because you love me.
That one's for producer Chip in the other room.
Yeah. She's psyched.
So the movie, I've never seen this movie, but I just loved saying it. It was Primal Fear with Richard Gere.
Oh, good for Gear. Finally got a rhyming title.
It took forever.
God.
Yeah.
Waiting for it. That
I
old
can't even-
filmography.
I can't even make other jokes of films Richard Gere was in, because I can name none.
No. He was also in... Wait. Pretty Woman.
Oh.
Got it.
Good.
What else? I have no idea.
And then the second runner-up was a movie called The Quest, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Now, was this Quest 64?
You know, didn't we want to beat that game in college? And, like, you have to run upstairs for a good half hour, and we just quit, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, this game has too many stairs. I'm done.
Right. Yeah, that was a weird one. Because it doesn't belong to any franchise that I'm aware of. It was just sort of a one-off RPG.
It might. I feel like it's like a renamed Japanese release or something translated.
Okay.
That might be worth revisiting. Check us out on our post Goosebumps 62, Quest 64, the podcast.
That's right. Yep.
And we could have had a better name for it. But I mean, we want all of our analytics to go towards the game.
Yeah.
It's important.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which will be a bigger part of our series, 64 bits for 64 tits, where we talk about Nintendo 64 games, and then we talk about 64 different boobs that we have seen on the internet.
Yeah, that's right. And then don't forget about our segment on there. Ouch, my questicles.
I just like, Yeah, it's
Talk
just like,
about how
hey,
horny the game
So I
makes
saw some boobs. These are our first 2 boobs of the podcast. They are black ones. And then it'd be like, we got 2. And they'd be like, Matt? And you'd be like, pierced ones. But let me tell you, only one. Only one pierced boob.
Only one nipple has been pierced.
Fake ones. Oh, fake ones. And then the horn goes off. That's the next podcast.
The air horn, yeah.
Yeah. So this is crazy. So Marlon Brando, know him?
Yeah, is he in the Foo Fighters?
He sure is. So Marlon Brando,
That's what I thought.
of Godfather fame, and apparently he's just like famously a good actor, but more famously like the biggest piece of shit in Hollywood. I mean, not anymore because he's a dead guy.
Sure.
Yeah. But on April 6th, Marlon Brando made anti-Semitic remarks about Hollywood on Larry King Live, which is terrible and awful, but allows me to tell a story that I learned about Marlon Brando.
Ooh,
do you know that
please
Marlon
do.
Brando was in a movie called The Score, starring Robert De Niro and Edward Norton?
No.
Well, there was a movie, and it was all about how like Robert De Niro was like out of the game and going to pull a score with young upstart crime guy Edward Norton.
Okay.
But they were going to learn and get information from their friend, famous fat wheelchair man, Marlon Brando.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So Marlon Brando refused to take any sort of direction from the man directing this film, Frank Oz. Famously
Wow.
the voice of Yoda
That's right.
and
a bunch
the
of
Muppets. So anytime Frank Oz tried to direct Marlon Brando, he would be like, I don't listen to you, Miss Piggy. Listen here, Miss Piggy. I'm not listening to you. And he said,
shit.
I bet you could work me like a puppet, Miss Piggy. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. To the point where Frank Oz would be like, hey, we're going to do a wide shot. And he'd be like, no. You're doing it up close. It's a close up. And he's like, no, we're going to do a wide shot for this. And he's like, mm-mm. It's like,
What
well,
the fuck?
so he'd be like, you know what? Let me get ready for this. I'm going to go to my trailer. He would leave and he would come back with no pants, no underwear, and be like, looks like you got to do a close up shot. Like,
Oh my God.
like would show up dick out for the scenes. And they actually gave an earpiece to Robert De Niro and Frank Oz would be on the other end because he would only take any sort of notes about how to act or anything in the scene from Robert De Niro.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, he died shortly after. But
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that like they get him and he wanted to do like a low budget film and they gave him like 3 huge stars and he's like, what the fuck? And this guy just berated Yoda for being Miss Piggy.
What an asshole. But now the Grim Reaper is tongue in his butthole every day, so.
Yeah. And I bet like this is fucked up, but do you think like if you go to hell, like he's probably still fat and in a wheelchair in hell?
Yeah. He's not going to look good in hell.
Yeah. Us
Or,
though,
like-
we're gonna look fucking fly as shit.
Hell yeah. We're going to look great in hell.
We're gonna look so cool.
Well,
I'm
we
gonna
made
be in a
that deal.
wheelchair. I'm gonna be in a wheelchair, but only because it's just I don't have a bottom half of my body. Because the bottom half of my body is going to be a fucking Corvette,
Whoa.
a red one.
That rocks.
It sure
Yeah,
does.
I told Satan that I would come to hell if he gave me a race car bed.
Because you can have sex fast.
That's right. That's right.
Whoa, was
it's going to
he-
be great.
What happened? Matt just and then he left.
That's right. On
Fuck,
to
do
the
we
next
have to-
day of torture.
We have to. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's all right. We're having fun.
No, I said the words though.
I said it right off the top.
Did you?
Yeah, right in the first couple minutes, I said the C word.
Oh, god damn it.
I know.
But yeah, so Marlon Brando's a piece of shit. But on April 21st, the Chicago Bulls broke an NBA record. You know what NBA stands for?
Yes, I do. It's nightly butt ass.
Not to be confused with Nightly Butt Abuse, which is another website
Correct.
that
I don't anything that's abusive. I don't subscribe to.
I don't
However,
subscribe to it either.
Butt ass.
Butt
I'll
ass,
take it.
though.
Some might argue it's redundant. I say no. Twice the butt.
More cheeks to peek at.
That's right.
Yeah, so the Chicago Bulls, their record, they won 72 games. They were 72-8 for the season.
That's fucking outrageous.
Isn't that crazy?
Did you watch Last Dance?
No, I want to, though. I just love sports documentaries for some reason.
It's so good.
That's what I hear. That
Yeah,
and,
I'm-
like, wrestling documentaries are my other, like
Yeah.
sports, but specifically wrestling documentaries. If you have Vice, watch Dark Side of the Ring. Because it's one of those things where it's like, basically you're watching a true crime documentary. You're not even watching wrestling.
I was gonna say any wrestling doc has got to have a lot of tragedy in there.
Yeah, but like some crazy shit happened. Like there's a guy who was like going to own a wrestling federation somewhere in like South America, and it was really big in Japan and whatever, and they literally just were like, and then just walked up to him in the dressing room and just started fucking stabbing him in the gut. And then
What
they
the
were
fuck?
like, yeah, the guy who killed him got away. Like, and he just died.
That's horrendous.
Like
imagine dying from a stab in the gut. That's fucking horrendous.
Well, Owen Hart, they fucking.
Yeah.
Do you know why he fell? Because they didn't. It took too long to get him off of the cable. People who don't know, Owen Hart was a wrestler. Famously, they tried to get him to come down from the rafters of the arena, and his rig broke, hitting the turnbuckle, the little post, and fucking died live in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, that was a pay-per-view, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
I was watching that. Were you watching that live?
No, I wasn't.
I was watching that at my buddy's house, and it was crazy.
'Cause
I
they-
mean, I was only like 12 or 13, but
It's insane. But it's because they got a new group of people to do it because they wouldn't follow the actual laws because they wanted it to look better than like what you actually need to do. So they had a carabiner that's much like the one we use for our keys that has a 15-pound weight limit on it. And once he got off the side, he just fucking fell.
yeah.
And the
It
last
was-
thing he said was, we don't know. He was screaming because he didn't want to land on the ref and kill him as he was falling. He was like yelling at people to get out of his way
Oh my god.
as he fell to his death. And then Vince McMahon sued his widow.
I mean, what are in the hierarchy of like huge pieces of shit that we know to exist, like the worst dumbass monsters? It's like one, obviously the president. Number two has got to be Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
I'm
but his
surprised-
They're
Right.
like good buddies.
Well, that's what I'm surprised McMahon's not in that cabinet somewhere, like
His wife
the
is.
Department of. Is she?
Yeah.
Linda
You ever
McMahon.
you ever see that photo of like, it's like Triple H and his kids and all the McMahons in the Oval Office with Trump?
No,
And it
God,
just
that
says,
sounds terrible.
it says not including the children. Everybody in this photo has received a Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. Like everybody.
Yeah,
Linda
good.
McMahon, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon,
We got to get Stone Cold back in there.
President
and do some
Donald
work.
Trump. Yeah. And then another thing is pretty important. On April 28th in Australia, they had the worst massacre in their modern history. It was the Martin Bryant shooting. He shot and killed 35 people in Port Arthur, Tasmania. And this led to a compulsory gun buyback program and major changes to gun control laws that have stuck since. And I believe they've had one mass shooting since. And that was it within like the last month or so, a couple months.
Oh,
Zero
and
mass
all right.
shootings.
And all right, go fuck yourself. All right.
Vagina. Yeah, but you can look it up. There's a great John Oliver did something on the Daily Show where he shows up and literally talks to like all the right-leaning people that were like, at first I was like, fuck this, and then I was like, this makes a lot of sense, and now we're all safe. So
Yeah.
yeah, so some facts about this book. It never got a TV episode, which is the first thing I started Googling once I read the end because I needed to see this happening. There's tons of merch. Most of them are just featuring the egg monster on the cover. In the French edition, it was the 70th book. What? Oh, I guess they grouped in a lot of 2000s and stuff like that. Right. Sorry, this is all powered by the Goosebumps wiki. And Dana's name was switched to Cliff for whatever reason. And the last sentence of the book is omitted.
Really?
Yes. So, like, it must have the worst ending of all time.
Yeah.
So the end of the book does not happen. French people fucking hate it.
Weird.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. And then it would just be I stopped. It ends on Dana stopping halfway across Anne's lawn.
That's it. That's how it
Weird.
stopped. That's it. You never know what happens in the end of the book.
All right.
French people. Am I right?
Come on. We.
All right. Oh, and also R.L. Stine said on Twitter once that this was his favorite book to write because it basically takes place in only 2 scenes.
Right. Yeah. That's what I liked about it too.
Yeah. Everything's his house. It's Dana's house, or it's the lab. That's it.
Yep.
So, all right.
Cool. Let's plot it up.
Plotting.
Okay. Well, we have Dana. And he has a sister named Brandy. And Brandy's always like, the boy is mine. And Monica is like, the boy is mine. And then together they're like, the boy is mine. Need to give it up. Had about enough.
Enough.
Plain to see. Yeah, so Dana and Brandy. Well, Brandy's having a birthday party. And Brandy would like to have an Easter egg hunt for her birthday party. I think it's around Easter, right?
It is. At first I was like, why? Then, like,
Yeah.
Good thing about this book is there's so many points where I'm like, R.L. Stine, that don't make no sense. And then, like, 3 paragraphs later, he's like, listen, Dick, it's like a week until Easter. And I'm like, okay. And she's a kid. Calm the fuck down. Like,
right. I think the weirdest part about this is that Mom gives all the kids just eggs out of the carton.
Yeah.
Did they not have plastic eggs in 1996?
I guess not. I mean, I imagine that's how it was done way back when.
I guess. But even then, like, and as RL brings up, like, they should be hard-boiled, right?
Yes. Which is supposed to be the funny part. So it's a plot device, I think.
Yeah.
And we know that Brandy gets whatever she wants. And that's why she thinks that boy is hers. But
that's right.
Also, many people listening to this probably don't understand recording artist of the late 90s, early 2000s, Brandy.
Brandy and Monica. That song slaps still.
It sure does. It sure does. So yeah, they're going to do that. And the winner gets an American Girl doll. Mm-hmm. Those shits are expensive.
They sure are.
Because they're like, how much? They're over like $100 a piece, right?
I think so, yeah.
Crazy. And the boys are just kind of like instantly at the birthday party, like, fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah, and so they have an egg fight, which is funny.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, and that would be a better time, of course.
And of course Brandy's upset, but Dana and his good friend Anne Gravel are just chilling.
That's right. And Dana is such a good egg hunter that he finds something he never expected. A larger egg that has veins all over it. It's like the cock of eggs.
Are you discussing a rooster?
Yes. Because they have that giblet hanging from their neck with all the veins in it.
So he picks up this egg and is just kind of like, it keeps shaking and throbbing. That must be worth extra points.
Yeah. It's got like purple veins all over it. It's probably normal. And he like drops it a bunch of times and like people jump on it by accident and it never breaks. It's very durable.
Anne has a big dog.
Correct.
Like a big dog.
With a cute old name. A sheepdog with what's its name? Stubby.
Stubby, yeah.
Cute.
So Stubby at any point in this book, I was like, Stubby's gonna get that egg in his mouth.
Yeah.
Because they're throwing eggs everywhere, and Stubby's just having a great day. He's gonna have to go for a jog later. This is just so much good protein for him. It's gonna help his coat. He's licking eggs off of everything.
Yep.
So it's very sweet. And yeah, then he puts this egg into a shoebox because it's gross, and it starts hatching like DMX.
Wait, does DMX hatch?
Yeah, as you read in the beginning, if we go to page 26.
Oh, yes, correct.
It says,
I see.
yeah, crack. The blue and purple veins throbbed, a long jagged split down the green shell.
Yeah, its first words were Rough Riders.
Yeah. And then he was like, what you really want?
Yeah, we should also mention that Dana likes to study things. He's like a little amateur scientist, and he loves clouds and studying animals and stuff.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, what a fucking nerd.
I would have slam dunked on him any day.
Most of this book is spent from his POV inside of a locker or like inside a toilet getting a swirly.
He's talking to his good friend, a calculator. Fucking nerd.
Yeah, and Anne is like spelling boobs on it, like holding it upside down.
And Gravel.
Anne Gravel, CBS reporter, Anne Gravel.
Didn't need a last name, but he decided to give her one.
Yeah, Gravel. I like it. But anyway, yeah, this egg starts to hatch, and it's a little like egg. It's a little wad of scrambled eggs with eyes. Sounds very cute.
It is very cute, and they make cute noises, and
Yep.
it's just like weird. And he's like, "Fuck, I need to show my parents this."
Yeah.
'Cause it's the next morning. He goes downstairs, and like everybody decided to go, like, I don't know, food shopping or some shit.
Yeah, they took Brandy somewhere, probably to get the boy, and they leave Dana alone. So whatever. Eventually, he goes to this lab that's in town, this science lab where they study things. It's like, you know how every town has a science lab.
It's a small science lab, though, not weird. Because if it was a big one, we'd be like,
Yeah, it's like a Quest Diagnostics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like one of those places that just like does like blood samples and shit, like
it's a
for
lab
you.
core.
Yeah, but also he goes over to Anne Gravel's house to show the egg and gets really grossed out because they're having scrambled eggs and they're like slapping them down, but he has just been looking at this gyrating veiny cock egg the whole morning. So he's like ready to spew, but instead drops his gross egg onto the real eggs, and the mom tries to throw it down into the food, not food processor, what am I saying? The garbage disposal. Yeah. And he saves his life like a ninja. He's like, I'm inches away from the swirling blades. And his mom's just like, get out of here with that gross food. You are a weird food pervert, and I hate you.
That's right, yeah. And so he can't get a break to show this thing to anybody. Even, I mean, they see this creature, but they just say like, "Hey, could you get out?" Like they don't think anything of it.
Hey, I discovered this new. You're ruining my Saturday morning.
Yeah. I'm trying to grossly eat eggs. So
and even mom's just like, "You're making eggs look so good. I may slather some down my fucking throat too."
I laughed so hard I pulled my phone away.
I'm not even going to use I'm just going to Kirby it up. I'm just going to suck real hard on one side and see if I can just get it all in my mouth at once.
Yeah, mom just starts cracking him with one hand and dropping him down her gullet.
Yeah.
And so he goes to that lab, and there's one scientist there. One dude is there. And Dana is like, "Hey, I found this thing. I was wondering if you could check it out, identify it." And he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I know all about these. I've been collecting them all over town. They came from Mars probably, and I must have missed this one. So come on in, and we'll see what's up." And Dana's like, oh, sweet, this is perfect. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. And the guy's like, well, first, we have to lock your buddy in a cage. That's step one.
And also, first thing he does, he's like, yeah, come inside. And he, like, locks the front door, then, like, does the second lock on the front door, and then bolts it. And he's like, probably because they're closed on Saturdays.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, oh, you little boy.
The rationalization game still going strong.
You are the making of a Forensic Files episode. Way to go.
Yeah. This is the episode 7 of Unsolved Mysteries. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he's like, oh, by the way, before you go, I have your little egg friend. Did you touch it? He's like, yeah, no, of course I touched it. He's like, cool. So I'm going to have to imprison you forever because you've touched this thing and I don't know what it's done to you, and I can't have you going back out into the population if you got some weird Martian germs. And so, yeah, the whole book is like he's in science prison. And he's very cold because this doctor thinks... He found out that the eggs like it to be cold. If they get too hot, they melt. Question mark.
Which is like a red herring, because you expect him to have to defeat these eggs.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is what RLS would normally do to defeat the monster.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah, Dracula's here, but don't give him popsicles. And then it'd be like, Mom's like, I brought home popsicles. And it's like, oh, I just thought of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to shove the popsicle up Dracula's butt.
Yeah, melts instantly.
And then the last page is just like, grape! And then he dies. Because grape was the right flavor. And it kind of upset me that Dana is... he's a scientist. A science-leaning, thinking, inquisitive young boy.
Correct.
I wouldn't expect him to be an anti-masker.
That is true. He is a anti... He wants to put other people in jeopardy.
Yeah, because on page 64, he's talking about... He's like, yeah, you can't leave. And we have to know this, too, that, like, there's an alien... A literal alien that's just unknown in a specific town, and there's a guy in a lab who's just like, this is a... You know, an outside species. Like, what are those flies? Those, like, dotted flies or some shit that have come to, like...
the lantern flies?
Yeah, that everyone's like, we have to kill them. Like, imagine that, but from another planet. Like, what could it do to our environment? More importantly, what could it do to a human being? Like, you can't just let this happen. And he's a scientist, but he's just like, no. Like, you...
My rights are more important than my family living.
Make sure that touching the egg didn't harm you or change you. No way, I thought. I don't care about strange germs from Mars. I don't care about egg diseases. I don't care about science. All I care about is getting out of here, getting home to my family. You're not keeping me here, Dr. Gray. You're not studying me because I'm out of here. And he's basically saying that, like, he's, like, you are possibly can put the entire world in danger.
You know what he is, Dave?
What?
He's a Karen.
Oh, I believe they call
Karens.
the males. He's a Karen or a Kevin.
Oh, this is a classic Kevin move.
Sure is. And, like, he is in this cold-ass room, and he's just like, fuck this. And just has his buddies. Because did we mention that there's a bunch of these eggs, and they are cute?
Oh, they're little cutie pies. They don't even do anything. They just, like, make little squeaks, and they, like, roam around with their sticky little bodies.
And make shapes.
They make shapes. They love triangles and squares and whatnot.
He holds his hands up and makes a circle. They all make a circle.
It's beautiful. I love it.
And then he turns to Dr. Gray, and he's just like, hey, check this out. And he drew what seemed to be 2 circles with a longer oval between.
That's right. And then the one that he brought elongated himself in front of the longer oval, and to make it look like, you know what?
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah.
All that
juice.
Oh, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff he
Gross.
shoots. So he's really cold that night, and he's like, I'm going to die here, little egg friends. And they're just like, mm-mm. So they
Not on my watch.
forge together to turn into, like, egg armor in a big carpet and they make themselves into a nice blanket, and they keep him warm and vibrate all over him.
That's right. It was beautiful. They formed a lovely little Megazord, and they covered up our friend Dana and kept him alive. It's friendship.
It is friendship. Maybe these aliens aren't so bad.
No, they are not, in fact. And at a certain point, he's like, Dana thinks, okay, well, I told Anne where I was going. So the chain of events will be that my parents will look for me. They'll ask Anne where I am. Anne will say I went to the lab, and somebody will come and look for me. And he's correct. And Dad comes in and starts poking around. And the evil scientist man is like, would you like to take a look? I doubt you'll find anything. And Dana's dad's like, no, I'm good. And then the next chapter begins, and it says, like, actually, I will take a look around. But Dana's dad is very stupid and doesn't see anything. So he leaves, and Dana is, in fact, going to die there now. And what ends up happening is evil scientist man comes in. He's like, I'll bet you thought you were real clever trying to make all this noise to get your dad's attention. Well, guess what? You're in my grips forever, and I'm going to milk you for all you're worth, you little shit. And then...
well, he goes off as a Karen again.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is even more intense, where he's like, Dr. Gray has no right to keep them prisoner here, I thought, and he had no right to lock me up with them. I didn't believe his excuse for keeping me here, not for 1 minute. Just because I touched one, just because I handled one, just because I went to a spring break party. Did he really expect me to believe that touching an egg creature could harm me? Did he really think that I would rot my skin off or something? Did he really think that touching an egg creature would give me a weird disease or change me in some way? That was just stupid. I carried that little yellow blob in my hands, and I felt perfectly fine. These creatures are my friends, I told myself. Touching them isn't going to harm me in any way, but I'm a scientist. At least I want to be a scientist, so I have to be scientific, I realize. I decided to check myself out just to make sure. Yeah, this third grader is going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. Let me look at myself. I raised my hand and inspected them carefully. First one, then the other. They looked okay to me. No strange rashes, no skin peeling off. I had 4 fingers and a thumb on each hand. I rubbed my arms. They were the same too. Perfectly okay. Might as well check myself out all over, I told myself. My dick, still small. I reached down and grabbed my left leg. Oh, then he reaches down. But, like, he's basically saying, like, listen, I touched an egg. That's not going to do anything. My rights are beyond this. I can do whatever I want. Yeah. Germs, you could see germs. If I can't see them, then I'm not sick. Look, like, it's just like, dude, come on.
That section did infuriate me, like the observational, like, I'm running a bunch of tests. Here I go, looking at my hands. They look like hands. Tests complete. It was very frustrating.
It's like all those people who are just like, yeah, wearing a mask isn't for me. I haven't worn one yet and still not sick.
And I'm fine. Yeah. All that stupid anecdotal, like, on-the-fly analysis.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. And, at one point, the eggs, too, when the scientist comes in, they've formed a Confederate flag. I thought that was weird.
It was really strange.
Yeah, but so the scientist guy is like, you're staying in here, buddy. That's it. And then he, like, somehow the door gets open. I don't remember the logistics of that.
He goes in to, like, inspect them because he thought he killed all the eggs and, like, made a carpet out of them.
Right.
Instead of them still being alive. So there's a tussle. They fight. The eggs decide to suffocate this man.
Yeah, they envelop the scientist.
And he just, like, fucking bolts. He goes home.
Dana gets out.
And he's like, goes home. And his parents, of course, are worried because it's been a day. So this is the next morning of him being missing for, like, you know, they don't expect to find their child coming on a bike home. They expect to find his fingernails spread throughout the tri-state area.
Correct.
Yeah. And he's like, you gotta cook, there's egg monsters from Mars. And that's like when they say the movie. And you're like, yeah. Like, you like look at your friend in the theater and you're like, they did that. Do you know that thing they do? They did that thing that they do.
Yeah.
There's even a point in this book, too, I wrote a note where he was just like, I think I have goosebumps. And I'm like, oh, he totally stared into the camera and winked when he had goosebumps.
One
You
would
little-
hope.
Little idiot. So he gets them to go back to the lab because the dad's like, I checked that lab. This is a little eerie. Shit's empty.
Yep.
No eggs. No bones of Dr. Gray.
Nope. Presumably, they went back to Mars
Probably.
in a little
Also,
egg ship.
how did he even fucking know they were from Mars? It's like, he was like, yeah, 2 years ago, there was a storm on Mars. And that probably blew them off the atmosphere.
Yeah. And then he's like, did you know that stuff burns up in the atmosphere? Well, these guys didn't.
Yeah. I would be like, I'm a third grader and I've learned science and I know you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Insane. But like, and also, kids like, oh, actually, no. Twister doesn't come out until next month in this time, so.
But he's seen the trailer and he's
He
like,
saw the trailer for Twister and he's like, I see, those cows couldn't leave the atmosphere. How could an egg?
yeah. Yeah, so at this point he wants to go, this is the end, right? Where he just wants to go over to Anne Gravel's house.
Yeah.
So he leaves his house, heads over to Anne Gravel's house. He's across Anne's lawn, stops halfway, squats down, lays an egg.
That's it.
That's it.
He puts on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and he's like, what a wonderful day to play battle chess on
Correct.
CD-ROM. And he just, the last sentence, dude just fucking shits a large egg.
He just he forces out a big ol' egg.
Just fires eggs.
So the logic here is that he touched the egg monster. Now he can produce them.
I was thinking of it like Alien.
Like it infected him, and now he births them.
They gestated an egg within his
Right.
colon, which
Yeah.
means when they were wrapping around him in that thing, they said it ended at the neck. So I'm like, well, how'd you get in there? Is there a way that you can impregnate him through the skin? Maybe.
Maybe.
But all I'm saying is that
But he fell
I was a
asleep.
little boy once, and I only had 2 holes below my neck.
But hey, good for him. He's a proud papa.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Way to birth him.
Yeah, there should be a second one where he cares for this egg. And he
Yeah.
does like those science class things where you throw it off the roof, but you put it in like styrofoam and stuff.
Because he just infinitely has eggs, and he just like lives in the woods alone, so the government doesn't get him, and he's just
Yeah.
been eating gross omelets
Yeah, exactly.
with his good pal Anne Gravel, who decides to be the adoptive mommy.
Well, I loved this ending. I think that's my favorite ending, maybe in Goosebumps history. And here it is. Then halfway across Anne's lawn, I stopped. I crouched down in the grass, and I laid the biggest egg you ever saw. It shocked me. I loved it.
I love how like braggadocious he is too.
Yeah, the biggest egg you ever saw.
Because it's kind of like a kid just being like, and then I hit the home run and saved the fucking game.
Yeah, except
But in this is just like, when I lay an egg, it's big.
yeah, you better believe it slid out. Yeah,
You think your butthole can stretch? Check out this egg.
yeah.
And that's the thing too. It came out of his butthole. We all know it came out of his
For
butthole.
sure. I mean, laid an egg. Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't make any sense, but like, we know. Arlstein, this is called subtext, children. He's able to let us know what came out of this boy's butthole without saying it.
And honestly, you have to be careful. I don't clearly, this RL wrote this long before last week's episode where I discussed, you got to be gentle with your hole. Be careful with your sphincter. You can't go pushing huge eggs out of it. You're going to get all kinds of fissures and whatnot.
Yeah, but sometimes that's being a parent, isn't it?
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
you gotta give
well-
up to, yeah.
What did you like about this?
I love how nerdy he is in the beginning. I love that there's a parenthetical statement where it's just like, I do science and I can tell from the clouds they're cumulus, and it just says, I study clouds. Like in parentheses, which is just, it's so fucking nerdy being like, I can back this up.
By the way.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. There's a mouth dry as cotton, which is pretty neat. This was a great detail, and one of my favorite details that just reminds me of growing up. because my grandfather was like this. Dad tapes all of our birthdays and vacations and big events. He keeps the tapes on a shelf in the den. We never watch them.
Right. Yeah.
Reminds me of how I have a million videos and photos on my iPhone that I'll never look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sick, wet sucking sounds.
A lot of that.
I love it. Love all the throbbing. It's good.
A lot of wetly stuff.
When they walk into the lab, Dr. Gray's lab coat made a starchy scratch sound as he walked, which is kind of nice. It made the place seem very sterile, which they did a good job. The white walls, the cold, good setting up.
A lot of sensory detail on that, right? Like down to the jacket. Yeah.
I loved that. And then when all of the eggs were like slapping around to get to him, it said their bodies slapped the floor wetly as they bounced toward me. That's when he thought they were going to attack him, but instead they were just going to make him into a sweet little, fucking,
egg
as you
oven.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just making him a nice little onesie. A living onesie. What
And
about
they
you? What
said-
did you like?
And now you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, what did I like? Well, first I did make a note here that Dana, we skipped over. He's so into science that he has 2 tarantulas, so he's a pervert, and he studies his own toenails under a microscope, so double pervert. And let's see, what do I like? I like that the eggs on page 17 were described as gloppy. I thought that was nice. I liked on page 18 he gets a gift card for a CD store at the mall.
I love that.
Amazing.
Same goodie.
Remember, Goody got it. Also, The Wall. That was another good CD and tape store. Let us see. Yeah, I liked toward the end there was a lot of sexual type of language. The word aroused is used when the scientist guy wakes
Gets
him up.
horny from looking at him.
Correct. And a lot of throbbing hard. And the CD-ROM battle chess I thought was a nice touch at the end. And then of course,
returned.
I mean, my favorite thing is laying the egg. Just astounding.
Any book could have been better with that.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
then our
thank
main
God.
character laid an egg.
Thank God, using this sign of love from my mom, I was able to get the mask. I laid an egg.
Yeah. What about bad stuff?
This book, fragments, we always say fragments, they're getting worse and worse.
For sure.
There's points in this book that don't make sense just because of the fragments. Like, the first page I said was a mess, but I'm remembering now. Oh, funny enough, it's page 69.
Whoa. Hello, nurse.
Like, where is it? Here we go. I didn't want to get out of there. I decided to try the window again, period. But before I could move, comma, my egg creature stopped talking. Period. New paragraph. And the others started to move, period. New paragraph. Silently, they huddled together, period. Pressed together into a wide yellow wedge. New paragraph. And rolling faster than I could imagine, they attacked.
Yeah.
Like, it's one sentence. It's like one sentence. He could have written this at one sentence, but it's broken up by into 6, and it goes across 3 separate paragraphs. Like, he just got so crazy with that enter button and lost it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in this, to the point where
lot.
the punctuation and the pausing is not dramatic or good. It just makes the sentences make no sense. Like, he has fragments, but there's no action or anything to tie them together, and the action is its own thing at the end. So not only is it a fragment, but it's the sentence is also out of order, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, it adds a lot of choppiness, even when there's not necessarily fragments. Like page 99, it says, "To my surprise, the egg carpet stopped under my chin. I let out a long whoosh of air and waited. Had it really stopped? Yes." It's like, come on.
One thing that I hated so much is that he decided to name this character Anne Gravel.
Sure.
Which is fine. He doesn't always give these characters last names, like the extra characters. Anne didn't need one. She's not that big of a thing. But he kept describing, like, the sidewalks and the roads as gravel throughout the whole book, too. Like, it's a new word he learned. Literally, the next page after calling her Anne Gravel, he's like, it's my friend, Anne Gravel, and her family. I walked over to Gravel on the road. Like, it's just so weird that he decided to complicate things like that. And this is like, whatever, yeah, it's Gravel, and her last name's Gravel. He doesn't make the pun, ever, which you'd expect from him. But also, you got to think, these are children. They may not know Gravel. Like, it's just very confusing. So is it like... Is this girl made out of road, or is that road just her family's skin?
I know you half expect for them to be like, we call her Blacktop because her last name's Gravel. Get
and
it?
we're super racist.
Yeah. Oh no.
There was a lot of bad cliffhangers in this, like when he checks his leg to see if he's sick, but accidentally grabs an egg instead, and you just like, whoa. And the one worst part that I hate more than anything is Dana said, remember when you had a Ninja Turtle themed birthday party when you were 10? And he was like, I never liked Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles, my mom made me like them. It's like, well, you had the plates. I hate Ninja Turtles. I was like, dude, you were 10 and it's... Shut up.
Own it.
Ninja Turtles are, like, even... I loved Ninja Turtles as a kid and still do. And
I still do. I wrote that down, too. I didn't like the shame that was involved in that.
Sitting next to me right now is the hardcover volume 1 of the Ninja Turtles comics. They're brutal. They're good. Leonardo impales Shredder in the first book and throws him off a building.
Wow.
It's metal. It's
That's
good.
Cool.
It was a very good 90s indie comic, and then became a lovable thing for children that was important to me as a child. I would never deny it. Dana, you fucking coward.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I genuinely love that first movie.
It's great. The second one's good too. I like the second one more, probably.
Really? I should watch
because
that
Vanilla
again.
Ice dances.
Yeah. I know that the Turtle Power song is in there.
You know Kevin Nash?
Sure.
The wrestler?
Yeah.
He plays Super Shredder.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pretty cool. So that's all my bad stuff. What about you?
All right. Yeah, I mean, similar stuff. It did bother me that they used real eggs, like just get plastic eggs. On page 23, I did not like this, but I thought it was kind of interesting that Dad totally dunks on Dana. He says, and it's a weird one, too. He says, like, Dana wants to show them the egg that he found. And he goes, well, I stared down at the pulsing green egg in my hand. It'll only take a second. If you'll just... Dana, Dad yelled, why don't you go sit on it and hatch it?
I love that. And it's like, Mom and him high-fived, and she was like, oh, you're so getting some later. I love it when you emasculate our children.
Yeah, it rocks. So that was pretty fun. Let's see. Yeah, some punctuation issues throughout. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
All right.
My notes are a mess.
So let's go to our top scare.
Yeah. I didn't write one down. I don't think there was a moment of fear necessarily. I mean, maybe the claustrophobia of being trapped somewhere you don't want to be, or like people never finding you, because this is the way this is framed is like, this isn't just quarantine. It's like you're my prisoner now.
Yeah. And the reason I'm keeping it cold is for these aliens to make them survive. You are not a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was yours a similar thing?
It was that understanding, but then when he realizes the eggs are in there and they square up to fight him.
Yes.
Just being like, all right, I'm stuck here, but like, imagine if there was like a bunch of hamsters are with you and they're like, oh, you're so cute. And they're like, oh, we're going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because it would just be annoying, like, to have to hide from hamsters all the time.
For sure, yeah.
Cute as they are. What about your best dressed?
Best dressed, initially I wrote Stubby because he's a little cutie pie, but I got to go with the egg.
I do too, but what form of the eggs?
I mean, I think just initially in that little shell with his little eyes poking out, sunglasses.
Mine may be cheating because it's all the eggs when they become on page 97, quote, big quivering wall of egg.
Yeah, that's quite a feat.
Sure is. Big quivering wall. I'm there. And now we have to do our alt title.
Well, I think this is obviously going to be Dana over easy.
I like that. Mine's Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, love it. Yeah.
Either that or Egg Pooper in 3D.
Or what's the? I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger is pregnant.
Isn't that Mr. Mom?
No, I think it's something else.
Junior.
Junior. We did it. Where's the witch?
I'm gonna say it's Brandy.
Brandy, yeah, she's the witch.
Because in the beginning of the book, literally, they say she can say anything to their parents or anyone, and for some strange reason, they'll do it. And even he's like, yeah, I can't stand her, and I know she does this, but if she asks me anything, I have to do it too. So I think there's some sort of magic spell.
That sounds magical.
Because he can't understand, he knows it's bullshit, but he still can't fight it. That seems a little eerie to me.
Yeah, that's a little spooky. I would have to go with the planet Mars, Dave.
Ooh, I love how you're thinking outside the box.
Well, I try. And then most luscious liquor has to go to Stubby.
Same. Stubby for sure.
Yeah. Well.
And we haven't killed anybody in a while. We're at an hour. I still haven't checked to see who we've done. I think, did we do Jesse Ayo? Oh, we did. Yeah,
I feel like
we did Jesse Ayo. So now I think we're on Ultimate Slice.
Okay.
So if not, we're going to edit this out. But if we did this is one of the only podcasts I listen to. Nice. Get dunked on other podcasts.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Serial.
Fuck you, Mark Maron.
Joe Rogan, more like Joe my butthole Logan. I finally decided to leave a rating after all this time. I found the pod through the Goosebumps subreddit, and I've been listening since the early days. Which blows my mind, because I posted every one of our episodes then, and people would be like, meh, and it would disappear. So I'm so happy that somebody found it, because that's a great community. People are just like, hey, why is, this character the shittiest character in all of Goosebumps? And people are just like, yeah, fuck them. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool, and there's a lot of different, analytics and stuff. If you guys have listened this far and want to learn more about Goosebumps, check it out. It's really fun. Since I don't have friends who share my love for Goosebumps, listening feels like I'm part of a conversation with friends who like the same stuff as me. Ultimate Slice, that makes us so happy. You are our friend.
Warms my heart. It heals my broken butthole.
Maybe we should do a quarantine, a live meetup where we just discuss Goosebumps with people. We'll do a Zoom.
That would be great.
This is a 5 out of 5 rating in my heart, but a 4 out of 5 in spirit because the pod's failure to respond to my inquiry about possibly reviewing the hit book series Gooflumps by R.U. Slime. Kill me, boys. Which we did get that. I believe we got back to you, but our much like our Twitter, our email has gone unchecked because basically it's just Libsyn being like, "Yo, pay me." Okay, thanks for paying me. And then new update. Our little guy riding an old iPod is now wearing a fucking Avengers hat. But I don't know. So Ultimate Slice. You about to get murdered. Do you want to murder first? Do you want me to murder?
I'll murder his ass, or her ass.
We'll murder then ass.
We'll murder that ass.
Let's murder that ass.
So, of course, Ultimate Slice, you're a beautiful person because you listen to this podcast and you're very effusively complimentary, which is very nice and warms my heart. And here's the thing is I know for a fact that you listen to this podcast on your way to your job. Thank you for being an essential worker and working at your job at the deli, in the Appy department, in ShopRite, probably. Or if you're on another side of the country, perhaps Ralph's or Kroger. Maybe Piggly Wiggly. Perhaps a Stop and Shop. Who knows? All I know is we thank you for your service. So you go to the supermarket and you're at your deli counter, and somebody comes in and they ask for 3/4 pound of rump roast. And you say, we don't have any rump roast. And they say, well, could you slice up my ass cheeks? And you say, we don't do ass slicing here. And this person, unfortunately, is a Karen. Karen. Oh my God. So Karen needs to get her way or else she'll talk to the manager. So you say, all right, bring those cheeks up here on the counter. And you start slicing and dicing. Here's the thing. You didn't turn the safety on. The blade has its way with both of you, chops off the ass cheeks clean, and then proceeds to chop off both your hands and separates your head from your body. And in your last dying breath, you say, order up. This is me wiping the dust off my hands. Done.
You have a good vacuum to do that with.
That's right. I'm very excited.
Okay, so mine was going to be similar because slice and ultimate.
Sure.
But
I say go for it.
It's Friday night. It's Friday night ultimate. You just finished the Frisbee game because it's also something ultimate that you like to do.
Sure.
You just finished playing WWE 2020, I guess.
Wow.
And you
cool.
played as your favorite wrestler, Ultimate Warrior. You also, hanging out and just being ultimate, and you ordered a pizza. And it comes in, and all your buddies are like, yeah, just, pull a slice, you're being very kind, and nobody wants to grab the biggest slice, because that's rude. And you're not that kind of guy. You're not going to grab the biggest pizza slice, but you're so nice that you let everybody grab a slice until there's one left. You look down, and this is it. This is the pizza slice. It has the ultimate amount of pepperonis. The cheese, perfect. Even when it's sliced, it was like God himself rolled his wispy but strong golden beard across this pizza to cut it. There's no cut lines. The cheese just runneth down the side. Bubbles? Perfect. But not the kind that are like empty where it goes down to the crust. It's not too burnt. It's just right. The crust filled with cheese, delicious. And you see a little bit of basil on it. Oh, it's so nice. This is the ultimate slice.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah?
Is this a shakaroni pizza?
It's a shakaroni.
Oh, my God. I knew it.
But for some reason, it looks like it was made in like the New Jersey, New York area with that delicious water.
Oh, yeah.
But the sauce, they sent it over to Chicago and got that deep dish sauce. And then head over to, I guess, I don't know, people like Connecticut pizza maybe, I don't know. But like everywhere but California and even Italy a little bit. And they gave you this delicious pie, and you had it, and you, as someone who appreciates a good ultimate thing, knew this is ultimate. So you can't even eat it. Your hunger goes away, and you instantly get out your binder that you used to keep all of your Pokemon cards in.
Whoa.
And you get a hard pizza case, and you seal it and put it into your collection.
Huh.
And you show it to your friends, and they're like, that's great, that's great. A couple days go by, your friends come back, and they're like, you have a photo of that ultimate pizza? And you're like, photo of the ultimate slice? I have it. So they're like, let me see it. So you keep showing it. But then it gets to the point where you're like, you know what? I can't have it out in the sun because I don't want the color to wear. So you get a UV protected sleeve for this pizza slice. Then it ends up in your closet. Then you're like, you know what? The moisture in the air just isn't right. So you get a safety deposit box. You put the ultimate slice away. And it's been a secret you've been hiding because your friends are just like a little weirded out. And they're like, it's the ultimate slice, man. You lost it. Why don't you eat it? No. Only one exists. Ultimate, you're an old man or woman or whatever you identify as your gender. And you're in the old folks' home and they give you some bad news. We're gonna have to move you to hospice.
Oh man.
You're about to die of old age.
Oh my.
At the ripe age
God.
of 269 years old. Nice.
Oh my God.
And you say, I have but one wish. They go to the safety deposit box. They blow the dust off the keys and they open it up, and there it is. What once was the ultimate slice is now just goo. Over 200 and something years later.
Oh my God.
You say, leave me to my pizza. Everyone leaves. You put on a romantic song that goes a little something like this. And you slowly, sensually open that gob mouth of yours with your missing teeth, and you just let it run down your throat, because at this point it's a liquid.
Hot.
Is it delicious? No. But do you feel like you have finally won with the ultimate slice? Yes. All the bacteria and everything that is built inside kills you instantly. But they don't bury you in a casket. They fold up a beautiful cardboard box.
Oh.
And they stab a tiny little plastic table into your chest so that your cheese doesn't stick to the top of your casket.
Right.
And you die.
That was lovely.
Hey, anything for Ultimate Slice. Sorry we didn't get back to your email. We saw Goof Lumps. They're kind of hard to get, but we could always look into it.
Yeah, I imagine that would be insufferable. I have a feeling they're really terrible. Maybe they're funny. I don't know.
Yeah, we can take a look at them for sure, because I feel like in that book, like here, it's just like, the boy leaned over to pick up the mystery clue, and we're like, and he farted. And then that book would be like, the boy leaned down and farted. And we would be like, and then maybe he also shitted.
Yeah.
But it's worth a look. And if you
Yeah.
enjoy them, then it's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you are one of us, you are a friend, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, Ultimate Slice.
A person with good taste.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're running low on people to kill. It looks like we only have one more.
Oh my God. Please rate and review. Doesn't matter what the rating is, although if you do 5 stars, you'll get a better death.
Yes, sure. If you give us 1 star, we're just gonna kill you in real. No, I'm not going to jail. Not for this podcast.
No,
That's
no.
a good joke.
Parody.
Parody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but if you do, no matter what you rate us, just please leave a little comment in there so we know who you are and we can kill your ass.
Yeah, maybe we'll pop back on. I'll pop back on a Reddit. Who knows? Everybody's talking about. RLS just liked our comment that we reviewed and read Night Howler. So hopefully he doesn't dig a little bit too deep into that and threaten to murder us. But all right.
Okay.
I'm wearing a robe right now.
You
it's
sure
a thick
are.
robe for the winter.
Love
It's
it.
summer. I am sweating and probably smell like shit. I'm gonna go take a shower.
I love it. Me too.
All right. Well, I'll meet you in the shower, Matt.
All right. I'll see you there, buddy.
We'll continue this FaceTime call.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Boo dudes, bye.